Hello. Hello, this is SSW coming to you with a stream about my weight loss journey. It continues and it's improving. If anyone wants to hear about weight loss and fitness, this particular stream is for you. Yeah. Oh, what's up, Joseph? It's always good to hear from you. I have been getting into better shape. I've been improving my body. As everyone knows, I'm on a weight loss journey. And from that photo, you can see in the thumbnail, and of course I have the picture up in my community page, and on my Instagram, that I have improved on my weight loss. Thank you, Joseph. I just want to show everyone. Look at this. Woo! I got a little flab, but it's flattening out. Isn't that nice? A lot of sit-ups. I did like 2 sets of sit-ups, like long sets of sit-ups. You know, like putting my feet underneath my couch and thank you. Thank you. And I'm toning up. It's all about changing my diet. You see, us Americans, we have a very bad addiction to processed foods. You know, I'm not going to say I don't fall short of my diet sometimes. You know, junk food tastes good, but it's bad for you. Junk food is like, like the food version of I guess of cigarettes, you could say. They're bad for you, but a lot of people use them to relieve stress, Yeah, that junk food, I mean, we get our kids, I would say our kids have become addicted to a lot of junk food, I'm way ahead of you. Yeah. Way ahead of you, Joseph. Way ahead of you. By the way, love that Adelaide video. I left a comment on it, and I also left a comment on your making a rabbit snare video. But yeah, this is what it's all about. Yeah. It's good. Keto is good. Right now, I don't eat a lot of breads. I eat a lot of like chicken and like boiled vegetables. I cook my chicken in the air fryer. I've learned to cut out a lot of processed foods out of my life. Processed foods can be very bad for you. They can cause weight gain. I eat more fruits. I just might do that, Joseph. So I've been basically doing a lot of things and changing my life, I don't need to tell you that obesity is bad for you. I've said that a million times before, But let's talk about. So true, but not easily used, Joseph. It's like using a sling, a shepherd's sling. Not so easily used. Easily made, but not so easily used. So, congrats to you for mastering the atlatl as a weapon. Congrats, Joseph. I hope to see that bamboo slingshot rifle. Change of diet for starters, more exercise, sit-ups, weightlifting, exercise bike, air fryer, boiled vegetables, air fried chicken. So true, Nancy. So true. This is why I have, here's the thing. I've been overweight. Well, not extremely overweight, but as you can see by my face, I'm kind of winding down. But here's the thing. This is why I don't like this fat acceptance crap. You have a choice to be fat and lazy and be slothful and eat bad things and eat things that will keep you fat. Or you can take the hard road like I did and start a weight loss journey. So I would say that this fat acceptance crap is just nonsense. If anything, we need to shame more fat people to get them into shape, to whip them into shape. Oh yeah, that's awesome. I've seen a lot of trigger mechanisms made by different people, homemade trigger mechanisms. I've seen the one where it opens up, those. I've seen. I've also seen like a thumb trigger where basically you just put your thumb down on it and it's like. I've seen different types of that one, thumb triggers. I've seen like a almost like an old school crossbow nut, like it rolls forward. I've seen different versions of that, by the way. I've seen like a crossbow nut. I've seen like my good buddy Rune Rebel. He made a slingshot rifle. He put in glued 2 nails onto like a crossbow trigger nut on a slingshot rifle, and had 2 nails and just folds over just rolls over like this down. Then it releases the basically the steel ball or the marble. And I've said this before, and I guess I repeat myself too much. Slingshot rifles are a viable, and I say a viable alternative if you live in a country, let's say, that has tight crossbow restrictions or tight air gun regulations where you want an air gun, let's say, to defend yourself, and you can't get the FP because the laws, you can't get the right FPS, legally without going to jail. So a slingshot rifle really does solve those problems, regardless of what law you live under, because in most countries, they don't really ban slingshot rifles. So you can basically make one, make it powerful, and with a lead ball about this size or a steel ball, whatever, put some weight on it, it can really do some damage. You know, I've seen it. I would say a 68 caliber lead ball could probably put a hole through an alligator's skull. A 68 caliber lead ball could probably, I would say, put a hole through an alligator's skull, particularly if you live in Florida. This one's new. I got these new shorts, right? Instead of the traditional kind of like ends that you see, the traditional kind of ends for like shoelace ends, it's like this. It's flat. Amazing. It's like welcome, Joseph. Welcome. Yeah, but I've seen like third worlders just slap these things together like it's nothing. I actually sent a video basically of a simple slingshot rifle you can make with PVC. So, and yes, I screwed up mine, but when I made mine but that's life. I'm going to try again though. Try to make another I'm going to try to make a slingshot rifle. I have an idea now. I really do. There's an oar that I could probably cut the head off and do that. Thanks for the one thumb up. That's awesome. Like I said before, slingshot rifles are a great alternative. Now, and I would say the power of a slingshot rifle depends on the bands and the tubes and the ammunition that you're shooting. If you're shooting light ammunition and light tubes or bands, well, you're going to get light impact. So if you're shooting heavy duty. Chuck and Steel, how you doing? How you doing? We were just talking about slingshot rifles. I know that's not something you use most of the time, but they're available everywhere. I know you use slingshots, but slingshot rifles are a little bit different. So true, and much more powerful than what a human hand can pull back. So a mechanical releasing system like that is much more powerful than what a human hand would pull back. That's the benefit of a slingshot rifle. And a slingshot rifle can have a lot of power depending on the tubes or bands or the ammunition. If the ammunition's heavy, heavy and hard, it's going to hit heavy and hard. It's just like that's just how it is. I don't want to repeat myself. I also like I like slingshots. I've been in slingshot since I was a boy. That is true. A humble man will learn from his mistakes, and that's what I try. I try to be humble in life. I know there are times I'm not always humble, but I try to be. I try to be as humble as possible. So yeah, my weight loss journey has been considerable. As you saw from the picture in the thumbnail, I have been getting into shape. I'm not who I was before. A lot of me is gone. Oh, you get that. A lot of me is gone. I know I have detractors. They used to call me fat, but now they don't. I haven't heard from them. Well, they don't call me that, but I haven't heard from them. So I eat them. I eat 4 hard-boiled eggs every Saturday before I lift. Before I do some lifting, you know. Before I do my sets, my weightlifting sets. I do a lot of sit-ups, which basically is me basically putting my feet underneath the couch and doing sit-ups. It holds my feet there. It's been very beneficial. My stomach is going down. My goal is to eliminate all the belly fat. Is to burn it all. I want all that belly fat gone. Now, I've already explained why I gained weight in the first place. You've already heard that story. So I eat 4 hard-boiled eggs before I go to work out. Put a little salt on it. Just a little for flavoring. You can do it. Cut out the processed foods. Eat more lean. Take out the grease out of your meat. Get an air fryer or bake your meat, like baked chicken or something like that. It's not hard. It's not hard. You eat more vegetables, salads. In my case, I eat a lot of boiled vegetables or steamed vegetables, if you would call it. Steamed vegetables. I have a lot of frozen vegetables. They call it steamed vegetables. It's not expensive. It's not hard to do. Well, thank you, Carolyn. I hope everyone has a nice Easter. I know Easter Sunday, that's tomorrow. And that has a day of significance for me as a Christian because, well, that's the day the Lord arose from his tomb and he was born. He arose again from the dead, the Lord Jesus Christ. And I believe that wholeheartedly, that he arose from the dead. So, yeah, I hope everyone has a happy Easter. Yeah, I believe that. I don't consider myself as a Christian, I really don't consider myself all good. You know what I mean? Because I only see God as good. So I just consider myself trying to be the best me I can be. But I've lost a lot of weight. I'll show it again. Look at this. It's getting there. See it? Papa. Yeah, but you try to be the best you can be, okay? Okay. I try to improve yourself in these times. I mean, if you're fat, don't try to lose weight, Awesome, Carolyn. Being obese is not a good thing. But the thing is, there are two reasons why there's an obesity problem in this country. Number one, it's basically a lot of parents putting their kids on SSRIs, which are basically psych drugs, causes weight gain. Another reason, number two is another reason, is the processed foods. Our foods are chemically processed, and they have no nutrients in them. They're not healthy for you. And we don't eat home-cooked meals anymore. Everyone's going out to fast food restaurants, So it's the processed foods, and it's basically the convenient foods and a lot of the sweets. Instead of eating fruit, we're eating like high fructose corn syrup cakes, and it's not good. It's not good for anybody. Me too, Carolyn. Yeah, that's the problem I see. That's another problem. Kids are on their phones today. They're not running around like they used to be. When I was a kid, I was running around in the playground. I was doing things. I was trying. I was climbing trees. I would say take the social media away from the kids and tell them to get their butts outside. That's what we did. I remember when I was a kid, I used to go out in the woods all day during the summertime, out in the backwoods. And there was no adult supervision whatsoever. We just had to be home before evening time. Yeah, there's a real problem. And I think it's kids are not allowed to explore anymore. They're not allowed to. It's this helicopter parenting is another reason why. I'm from the analog era, so. Yeah. So yeah, so there's a lot of problems. I see a lot of fat kids out there, by the way. A lot of fat kids, I've noticed. America does have an obesity problem, and it's pretty bad. Number one, it's the food you're feeding your kids. You're not feeding them home-cooked meals anymore. I was fed on home cooked meals. We rarely ever got McDonald's. You know what I mean? Not as many as you think there is, Nomad. Not as many. And I think this is the problem is that the community, there used to be whole communities watching out for kids. And we used to have, like there used to be parents on porches, remember? Watching the kids, it's and like I said, I was in the woods when I was a kid with no adult supervision, and there were no adults in the woods. There was nobody but us kids and the animals. So there's your answer. Let your kids go out and play in the woods if you have wooded areas, Well, yes, most predators. Most predators are on the internet now. They're not on the streets. So that's a interesting thing because most predators aren't even out on the streets like they used to be. They're out on the internet. So that might be a positive thing. But I would say if you got kids, move to an area with with like maybe 10 acres. Move to an area with 10 acres of woods, not many neighbors, and let them play. If all they got to worry about is bears, then you're all right. A bear is predictable. Um, you can teach your children not to when they see a bear to climb up a tree or something. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I think the solution for that, if you want your kids to run out and play, is like get a place with wooded areas. That's what my dad did. He took me and my brothers to my grandfather's place out in the woods, and there were no adults in those woods. Nobody but the animals. And the kid that spends his childhood playing in the forest, well, it's a very well balanced kid. Trust me on that one. And don't feed your kids garbage. How about that? All that candy. Well, it can be simple again. It's simple as basically moving to a less populated area to raise your family. That's it. There's no in between. You can do it still. It just requires you to basically move to an area that's heavily wooded, and there's not many neighbors. If you got the money to do it, do it. Oh no. Look. Yes, and you're not very sweet. So I don't know why you're here. And you're a dude. So boy. Never mind. Like I said, things can be simple like that. I mean, if you want your kids to play with no internet and stuff like that, you got to move to an area, well, that's not as populated. It's not hard to find. There's places like Idaho, Oregon. You know, there are places like that. But yeah, childhood obesity is pretty bad. And the problem is that you don't want your kids to get active in a lot of ways. I mean, you want to basically, a lot of parents let them micromanage their kids, which is terrible. I already know about you. You're a troll. And anyway, there we go. Getting back on the topic. Yeah, but like I said, all you need is a couple of acres. Let's say in a place like Idaho, or let's see, North or South Carolina, or Oregon, depending on what you want. Not many trees in Montana, zombies. Not many forest land. From what I remember. Yeah. I have actually thought about it out in the wire. Well, if you're in an isolated area, it's not like they can get to you very easily. Amen. Amen, Iron Man. I want to make this clear. The internet is not the real world. The internet is, I think a lot of times in the modern age, we confuse the internet with the real world. but it's not. The real world is out this window. Okay? If we don't want to be bothered on the internet, we can just shut it off. That's it. You don't have to be pestered because you can just turn off the computer. So that's what that's what I want to instill in you. It's not the real world, brothers. Amen. Amen. For a fellow 80s kid, Iron Man. I have lost a lot of weight. Look at this. Got a little flub, but that's it. But the point is that I have lost a lot of weight. I'm on my weight loss journey. I got muscles. I'm looking much better than I was before. Yeah, I am. Yes, I am. I'll be lifting them tomorrow, actually. Every Saturday. Iron Man. Well, yeah, well, the thing is, you can't say the things that you say to people. Here's the thing. When I was a kid, we used to call trolling prank calls. Yes, when I was 13, I did prank calls because I was young and stupid and immature. Yeah. To my moderator, I don't like that number. Amen. Well, to put it this way, when I was a kid, we used to call them prank calls. They used to be very prominent. I was 13. It was the 90s. I also got my first real set of walkie-talkies that were made in the 70s. And we used to basically mess with truckers on the CB radios. And yeah, but the thing is, what we didn't call it trolling back then, but here's the thing. You do that when you're 13, but the one thing that really is disturbing with the internet is that we have people in their 40s, people in their 20s and 30s trolling on the internet. There's some, I don't know what it is. There was a time in this country, and I'm going to tell you that 13 was considered like, a grown adult. I mean, that was around the turn of the century. I mean, there was a time, I think there was a time, this concept of being a teenager, for example, was non-existent. So it's a 20th century concept, this concept of teenager. It came from the baby boomer. It came from the baby boomer generation. This concept of in-between child and adult did not exist in the previous generation. These things did not exist. What I see now with the internet and everything else is a lot of infantilization. People are not growing up as fast. We see a lot of infantilization. We've seen grown people acting like children. And in generations past, I mean, for example, a 13-year-old boy was expected to work and basically earn money at age 13, and a 13-year-old boy, as far back as the Civil War, was conscripted into war. Okay, so there's something strange about the modern era, the 20th century, that really spawned all this. This infantilization, this perpetual childhood, adolescence, in the minds of in the West. It's very strange. Yes, but yeah, well, something's bitter more than sweet, and yeah. So it's very strange that the modern era has this concept of, adolescence, has this concept. I mean, as far back in the Middle Ages, I mean, children, I mean, teenagers, for example, were expected to get what we call teenagers today. Were married. We're married and starting families. So it's a very strange concept today. I mean, this adolescence. Well, it depends on your point of view. I mean, yeah, you were considered a man by that age. It wasn't. It was a different mentality. It wasn't perpetual adolescence. And I think it's we have in the West, for example, and it's still a thing in like third world and in like second world and third world countries, that you don't have this state of perpetual adolescence like we do here. It wasn't always like that. You go back a couple of generations, people had to mature a lot faster because life was a lot harder back then. The concept of teenage years didn't exist. No, it's more like for let's say a boy of 13, 14, 15, is pick up a shovel, or pick up a spear, as far back as the Middle Ages to the Stone Age, everything. If you look through history, it's like this is a fairly new 20th century concept of this perpetual adolescence. You go far back to biblical times, it didn't exist. Very funny, Nomad. But yeah, well, that was a kid. I get that. Yes, in the context of marriage, it was, Nancy. I think one of the famous writers was 15 and was married. I think a famous American writer he was a guy, 15. He already had a wife at 15. So it was a different look. I think life expectancy was very short back then. So people didn't live as long. That was one of the reasons. No modern medicine didn't exist. That is true. That is true, Iron Man. Well, I would say if you lived to see 30, if you were a man, you were considered lucky. You were a grandfather by that age, but Most people didn't live to see 30. Most men. Women lived to see 30. They lived a lot longer than the men, but see you, Jenny. You don't belong here. Anyway. True, Nomad. Interesting. Well, yeah. Well, the thing is that that wasn't very much. Still, um, like I said, still life expectancy wasn't very high back then. Disease, war. I mean, people had to have a lot more children. You know. Oh boy, Art. But the point is, most people didn't live long enough back then. I mean, you go far back as the turn of the century, people didn't live that long. Life was hard for most of the century. I mean, life has gotten a little easier for people in some ways, but it's also gotten a lot more complicated. We live in a much more complicated era where back in the day, things were much more simpler, um, much more one direction, you know. The point is that it's different. It's very different in the modern era. So true. Well, you know, hardship, I would say this. The problem is, okay, hardship builds character. I went through a lot of hardships in my life, so I built character. People that have no hardships, they don't build character. People that have never struggled don't build much character. We have a problem with that in the West. Yes, and will they act like grown men or grown women out in the wire? Amen, amen. Amen, Iron Man. I agree with that. But the point is here is that I think it's because of the our current modern world has caused infantilization, and it's prolonged like adolescence and childhood to the point where people don't grow up. You know, back in the old days, you know, the old times before the modern world, before, you know, even as far back as the Greatest Generation, things didn't. You were expected. You had different expectations. I mean, your childhood only lasted, you know, when you're a kid, just from when you're a little kid. When you hit what we call adolescence, you were expected to do man things, you know, pretty much. Or you were expected to, if you're a woman, you were expected to basically start a family. So that's how it worked. I don't know. A holdover from that community I will not name. That is true. There are many other reasons. Life has become easy. Technology has made life easy. The more technology makes our life easier, the more lazier we become. And of course, the more infantilized we become. Well, it's going to stop very soon, actually, but I'm not going to say much. But, I made that point. I just wanted to drill that one home. Not everyone's going to agree with that, but I look at that from an historical perspective. I see in the West a great deal of infantilization. Not as much as it is in basically in the East or in South America. You don't see that infantilization there because life is hard over there. And life ain't easy. Well, thank you, brother, and God bless you, Iron Man. That is true, Art. That is true. I agree with that. Funny, I'm from the latchkey kid generation where we had to do things on our own because, my dad was around, but, we had to do things on our own most of the time. So we were taught self-reliance. Kids aren't taught that these days. I agree with that out in the wire. I've been living that. Very good idea. I hope they're not getting participation trophies. You ever seen these participation trophies? Oh my. Oh, boy. As a kid, if you lost, you lost. You tuck your tail between your legs and you went home and you dealt with it. Now we got the other generations from the, we got the Gen Z, millennials, participation trophies. No. God forbid there has to ever have to feel, God forbid they never have to know the bitter sting of defeat. God forbid that they have to know what defeat feels like. Yeah, but those lessons have been taken away because they don't want other kids to feel bad that they lost. Well, God forbid you ever had to feel bad. Oh. Like, again, it's the infantilization that we see. A very good idea, Joseph. Good for you, but you tend to want to come on this channel and troll, so you must be bored. Yeah, well, how you doing, Richard? Can you help me out, Richard? Thank you. And that was fun. Yeah. And once again, this comes down to infantilization. You know, this individual says she owns her own business, but yet she has the time enough to come on my stream and troll. And she says she does it for fun. I used to do prank calls and CB radio calls I did that for fun when I was 13. This is not how grown people act. Yep. I got 11 views, 6 thumbs up. I'm liking that. Thank you, Richard. And like I said before, I'm on my weight loss journey. I've lost a lot of weight. I've cut out all the junk foods, the stuff that's bad for you. I've got an air fryer. I'm exercising more, and that's good. Oh boy, sounds like you got some woodland creatures in your backyard, Joseph. Well, let's get back. Um, no. When I was 13, I got my first real walkie-talkie. Um, the thing was made in the 70s. And the original reason I got it was for me and my brothers to play with it, pretty much. It was a walkie-talkie that can go a long distance. But what we didn't know is that it picked up all sorts of, like CB radio signals from truckers and stuff like that. So it was very interesting. And we found out we could actually talk to the truckers, which was, and, being like goofy kids, we just basically did goofy stuff, and they get all mad and stuff. And we used to tease them, troll them. That's what they say today. But there was no words as trolling back in the day. It was just joking around, horsing around. Oh, yes. They would get extremely angry at some of the little ignorant stuff we used to say. And this was before the internet. So this is what you did before the internet. So this was trolling before the internet, before there was a name for it. I mean, it was either prank calls. That's before they had caller ID. It was either you did it on a CB radio, but you didn't do it after, like adolescence. It's just not something you did after adolescence. It was like back in the day, yeah, it's something you did when you were a young, stupid kid. But after that, it was like, no. Joseph. Good to see you too, see? Good to see you. Well, well, it wasn't drama. It was more like, so I was like messing with them. It's like, like kids do, But yeah, back in the day, that's something only like 13-year-old kids did. That's something you only did as a kid. Any time after that, you didn't do it anymore because it was stupid. Anything beyond 13, you just didn't do it. You didn't do those kind of things. But with the internet, we see, grown people doing this in the new age with the trolling thing. So this is the infantilization that we're seeing. Forming very well. See, it's a good gun. Got some extra magazines for it. Can't show it on the stream. But I want to say it's a pellet gun. It's not a firearm. Not a firearm. I always got to reintegrate that. But it is pretty powerful and can be lethal with these H&N Hornets. Yeah, they can track that radio signal. Oh boy, no man. But yeah, I mean, so this is nothing new except the internet has made it more prevalent, and we have adults doing it. So, which is was saying that adults are acting like children on the internet. So, um, Camo Camp, how you doing, brother? How you doing, bro? The knife community Camo Camp has if you haven't found out, we lost Matt Pearson. He was very prominent in the knife community. He was a good friend in this community, and he's a brother of the blade. So I made a video about it. Check it out if you ever heard of him. Yeah, well, today they're doing swatting, sending police to your door. And they're not harmless pranks anymore. So they've gone very serious, and I don't. Yeah, I've noticed about the UK people. They say mate, but we say bro in America. We say bro a lot, so slightly different. um, yep. It's nice to have those 7 thumbs up. And it's I'm glad everyone likes the stream. I am losing weight, getting strong, so I'm still on my weight loss journey. Wow, wow, Joseph. I remember. Yes, I would suggest it. Um, yeah, for the Europe and UK, see, you're not only going to get about like like 300 something FPS. In America, you can get one that's like 500 and 57 FPS, which is a lot more because of the regulations. So if you get one, you better realize that if you live in Europe, you're not going to get the one that's has the higher FPS. That's only available in America. Yeah. No, because I'm a fighter, Carolyn. I'm a warrior. I don't back down. And that's why I employed a lot of moderators. And I don't back down. And I don't give a crap. So it's like I know what they're doing, and I laugh about it. So Awesome, Joseph. But yeah, Camo Cap, if you haven't seen that video yet, the knife community is mourning one of our own, Matt Pearson. So good guy, really cool guy. No, I put silicone spray in it. I have 90 gram CO2s for it. And of course, I have H&N Hornets in this magazine here, this belt-fed magazine. So it's okay. The knife community here on YouTube is pretty tight-knit. People who like knives, we know each other. We get to know each other, and we share our hobbies, and we become brothers of the blade. And it's pretty hard when you lose a brother of the blade, but there's going to be a stream. Gerbs is going to be doing it to honor the memory of Matt Pearson. Matt Pearson actually gave me my first box of fat wood. He sent it to me all the way from Canada. So the man is a good man. So I'm looking to get the overhanging fat, to burn all that overhanging fat on my stomach. It's starting to flatten out, but one thing I want to get is that overhanging fat and be over my stomach to burn it all off, So well, yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. Yes, brother. You are a part of this community, so I just wanted to let you know about it. And Camo Camp is a part of the knife community. He's a very good man, but I just want to let him in the loop because he's a new. I think he's a newcomer for the community on YouTube. So I just want to fill him in. Amen, Carolyn. I see 9 thumbs up on my end. So thanks, everyone, for the thumbs up. Well, thanks, Carolyn. It was a car accident. Yeah, it was a car accident. Yeah, that being said, this has been a nice stream. I'm glad I have a great people who support me, even though there are people who don't support me. Well, yeah, sure. Yeah. I think that's a positive thing, Nancy. Look at that glass breaker / skull crusher. Very nice. This is used by the military. The only complaint I got about this knife is the serrations on the blade. I don't like serrations. I prefer a smooth edge all the way down. That's my only complaint about this blade. But it's made in the USA, even though it's a German company. Very good, solid knife. Sheath is good, very solid. I mean, look at this. There's no rattle, barely any rattle. Let's see. Let's see if we can. Oh yeah, it's reason it's flapping. Once you put all the straps in here, right? With the exception of the these clips here, no rattle. We need you, buddy. Keep on. Thank you, C. Well, thank you, Carolyn. Thank you. It's always nice to have supporters. I mean, I have been weeding out the trolls, but I always like the supporters. True. This one is actually is well, this one I say this is hard to be on the value too. This is basically an S-Tech kind of survival knife, razor sharp out of the box. It's not made of the best steel, but it doesn't need to be because it's not that long. Tight handle, pretty strong for a knife this with this thin of a blade spine, but actually this is a good knife for the price. You can get it on eBay. It's an S-Tech. It has a nice sheath, although it rattles. You can put this on your backpack. It's got a clip. You can put it on your side. Whatever. This is a knife. You can buy a bunch of these and trade these in, let's say, in an SHTF situation. You can. These are good trading items to have. They've got a glass breaker. So this is a good low budget kind of knife you would actually trade as a trading item. You would keep around or have around as a beater knife. You know what I mean? A knife you would just use for, like bushcraft and everyday tasks or self-defense. I understand, Carolyn. But yeah, if you want a cheap knife, you can get on eBay and have it available to you. And $10, you can buy a whole bunch of them and even trade with them. I mean, the handle's great. It's got a rubberized grip with that with that diamond pattern, hard plastic. Indentation in the middle. Rubberized grip, like olive green grip. It's good. I'll see what I can do, Carolyn. I'll try to subscribe to your new channel, 2.0. I've never heard of those, Civi. I have to check them out. I have Honshu, I have S-Tech, I have M-Tech. I have Colombian. I have Cold Steel. I have Combat Commander. But I did not know Civi. I did not have. See, I do not have Civi. Yeah. I might give him a look. I will. So true, Nancy. So true. I try to be positive on the stream. Be positive. I know things don't look positive right now, but I try to be a positive, force around here. That being said, I gotta be positive and have dinner. And my dinner is waiting for me. So true, Joseph. That being said, I'm about to go off air. I want to have dinner. So, God bless all of you. I'll give you time to say your goodbyes. Thank you, C. But remember what I always say. There's no such thing as safe. Only risk and reduction of risk. That's it. Thank you. Happy Easter. I'll try to check out your channel, Carol and Spiritual Warrior 2.0. Thanks, Art. See you, Nancy. See you, C. And God bless everybody and have a happy Easter. Bye-bye.